Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media's NoPrize podcast. I am your host, Chris A. Boingo Writer Gaston, and with me is a new guest, Nick Fury. How you doing, Nick Fury?
See, I was gonna go for Major Blood from G.I. Joe, but I guess Nick Fury is more relevant, yeah.
You doing okay, bud?
I'm just tired. It's been a week, and now this.
Hey, fun fact about this podcast. We now show 50% less eyes. Because my eyes have always been covered.
Most of the time.
You don't get to see into my soul.
Whereas my soul is just damaged enough that I now need to do repairs on the window.
Nah, well, I mean, here's the thing. I had red hair in high school, so there's a question. There's a question, you know. This is a comics book podcast, right? That's what we talk about here?
Sometimes. Sometimes other stuff. Sometimes we just get on our soapboxes. Sometimes.
Well, I mean, you sure do like to... No, that's a bad joke. Not gonna say it. Whatever. Hey! What,
Okay.
Do you want to know about the joke?
No, I don't, but I'm just like, wow, all right.
No, this is a bad line of joke. The words came out wrong. It wouldn't work.
Okay.
Sometimes sometimes you gotta know when to stop a bit right in the bud.
Gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Gotta know when to hold 'em. Know when to fuck 'em.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We're talking about a show this podcast.
Oh, are we?
Oh, you're not doing good right now, are you?
I'm in a rare mood. I had to take a ton of allergy pills before coming on here, and I think they've done something to me besides just stop my nose from running.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of things that are green and run, Jen Walters to SheHulk.
A for effort.
Episode 2 of SheHulk dropped on Disney Plus, and hey, we are overconfident white boys who believe that we can say something about this.
Yeah, and this show sure has opinions about us, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, some of them are warranted.
Like, I'm cool with this show doing commentary on sexism in the workplace, but good God, if some bits of it don't feel like they're 10 years out of date.
I feel like it's just more blatant to be more comedic.
It's possible.
Like, the line of, how did you get your powers? Nepotism. No way, there's a woman over there, I'm gonna talk to it. It's like, oh.
That's the one that really bothered me, though. I'm like, nobody actually says that.
There are several people who do. You know it. You damn well know it.
I don't know if I've ever encountered it, no.
You've encountered them. They're just behind a screen of anonymity on the fucking internet.
Okay, but that's what I mean, is you wouldn't say that. And that whole bar scene really bugged me, just because there's that, and then her boss firing her in the bar. I'm like, you wouldn't do that. You'd call her into your office the next morning.
I feel like that's just more of like a expediency of the script writing.
Oh, it definitely is. Just the lack of realism there bothers me.
The lack of realism while he's talking to a giant green lady.
Hey, he didn't talk to a giant green lady. He told her to power down, and then she got really drunk all at once, and that was funny.
Yeah, that's a cute moment. There's a lot of fun little moments, and this is very much like, there's no real direct, what are you talking about? That's not Vac, that's Nick Fury.
Buster in the chat, why Vac has an eye patch, allergies, and I kept agitating it all day.
Yeah.
And finally, I realized I should just put on an eye patch, because we do have one lying around the house.
Vac a silly bitch.
I am. It does happen.
Yep. But this is a thing that happens in comics a ton, which is the background behind the curtain comic.
Uh-huh.
Where it's much less about like big superheroics and big continuity. It's just more of like, here's the slice of life. It's JLI.
Here's an aspect of the world that we wouldn't I'm fine, Buster. We wouldn't normally do a story about this, but it's fun to look at this every once in a while, do a little different thing. And we knew that's what it was going to be from the trailers and the synopses and all that. So, like, I'm not
even its inspirations of the John Byrne She-Hulk run.
Mm-hmm. Like, my favorite thing in this episode is just that they made Titania a superhero influencer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's genius. That I don't know why they haven't done that in the comics yet.
They've done bits and stuff like that. I mean, that's what all of Ecstatics is. Uh-huh. But it's before influencer was a thing, so they're reality TV stars.
Yeah. No, we need a comic book about somebody setting up elaborate Instagram photos of them punching supervillain grunts.
But yeah, no, She-Hulk episode 2 is fun, and it genuinely does ask some like important questions about the Marvel universe, such as like the morality of a lot of these villains were kind of like coerced into villainy.
Yeah,
there's
that whole shit with Abomination was really interesting. I'm surprised we didn't even see him transform this episode.
No, but it's also it does point out like, hey, this guy may have made some bad decisions, but like, it's like putting a pile of cocaine in front of an addict.
Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah, you're encouraging them to make these bad decisions.
Mm-hmm. And I love how the episode tries to play it as like a big oh shit moment at the end, like, oh, maybe he doesn't mean all the shit he said. No, I think there's a really good case for he does actually believe all this stuff he said, but he's a Hulk-like creature, so he has to control his anger somehow. And so going to that fighting ring is helping him do that.
Yeah.
And I think Wong's going to show up next episode
as a character testimony.
As a witness to explain that.
Character witness. Yeah, no, that has the right kind of feel for it. There's a lot of fun little moments. I really enjoy Jen and Bruce having a conversation of like, hey, this is everything that's happened. And Bruce goes to like, you know what? No, you need a job. It's a good job. Fucking take it. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Me and him, we hashed it out. We're good.
Yeah, and I love that they put that in there because, like, that whole little scene there also, like, serves as a really good explanation for why Ruffalo Hulk has had such a disconnect from the events of the Norton Hulk movie, except for, like, a few lines in Avengers 2012. He had enough time, he put a lot of that past himself.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably not even in love with Betty anymore.
No, it's like, he's had an entire different girlfriend in between then, bud.
Yeah.
And considering what might be on the horizon, probably a wife and a child.
Yeah, I can't believe they're setting up. They're finally going to do Planet Hulk. Holy shit.
What I would love for it to be is like a dual story of like we see what if it's not Planet Hulk? What if it's World War Hulk, but the World War Hulking isn't Earth, it's Sakaar and they fucked over his friends?
Could be.
Like, you do a mix of that, like a nice way to change it up, and it's not, oh, okay, cool, this is something different, you know?
Yeah.
Because honestly, I believe at this point in time, the MCU shouldn't be considered adaptations. It should be looked at in the same way the Ultimate comics were, which is, how are you going to take these base core elements of these characters and change them up some?
Well, it is still adapting then. It's just adapting more so in the way Power Rangers adapts Sentai. It's
or like the Ultimate comics adapted like the Clone Saga or the Alien Costume Saga.
Exactly. It's an adaptation. It's not a translation.
Yeah. And I think that's what needs to be understood, even though they also adapt tone a lot because this is very John Byrne.
Yeah. Buster says they want the movie to be called Galaxy War Hulk. Ultimate comics are not stinky. Read Ultimate Spider-Man, you fucking pleb.
That's like the only like one that does not have any stink on it though.
Okay, but like the first two Ultimates comics are still very good for their time.
Here's the thing about the Ultimate comics. They are of their time.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And the early 2000s of their comics have aged much more poorly than the mid 90s of comics, which are also very much of their time.
Bro, mid '90s has not aged in some great ways too.
I'm not saying it aged gracefully. I'm just saying like no one's looking at mid 2000s comics right now and going like that's what we need to do. While Donnie Cates is over here going like, remember Spawn? You're Spawn.
Okay, but Buster,
Yeah,
because Buster's in the comments talking about how Ultimate Spider-Man. That's my point, though. Stop throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We can't say, "Oh, Ultimate was all shit," just because we didn't like a majority of it, and then turn around and say Ultimate Spider-Man is one of the best Spider-Man books of all time. You can't do both those things.
Yeah, no, you got to understand and you got to recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ultimate X-Men had like an idea or two that was kind of cool, other than like Quicksilver and fucking Scarlet Witch. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, that's weird. That's not.
But like
Wolverine
being a shock trooper to basically kill unstable mutants to basically protect the mutant cause of like you are going to destroy something and you can't control this shit. Mm-hmm. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For the greater good kind of thing. Which is an interesting take for Wolverine. Sorry.
Yeah, but getting back to this fucking episode,
yeah.
I really enjoyed the dinner scene. That was the one that I was the most into with her family and whatnot.
I absolutely loathe her aunt and uncle.
It feels so spot on, though, especially with her dad saying all this stupid shit at the dinner and then turning around and being like, "But are you okay though? Let's have a parent."
Let me like. They're trying to take it in stride, but they are still awkward people.
And the freaking, I'm assuming he's her cousin, not her brother.
Yeah, his cousin.
But the one guy who's just like, oh, I got promoted at Best Buy. That's so much better than anything that's going on with Jen. And it's like,
I mean, like, hey, no, dude,
wow,
you accomplished something that deserves to be celebrated. But it's just like the act of like, oh yeah. That's a funny disconnect, you know?
Yeah, it's good comedy there. It's good relatable family comedy, I feel like.
We could talk about some of the Easter eggs that's been kind of being percolated throughout the conversation. And the newspaper stuff she was reading online, on the side, there's two headlines. Best Buy is canon in the MCU, confirmed.
Yep, indeed. Correct.
There's two headlines. One of them is like, yo, there's this weird fucking statue in the middle of the ocean. There, people who are complaining that no one talked about it. It's been talked about. Fuck you. It didn't.
But no. All those people are still going to go like, that's not talking about it. That's just an Easter egg. They don't actually address it.
Well, guess what? It's going to be addressed in a future fucking movie.
But when, Boingo? It's been almost a year.
Within the next 5 years.
Indeed.
Yep. And then there's another headline. Would you like to know what the other headline is?
I haven't heard anything about the other one, so what is it?
Bar brawl erupts in Canada with focused on man with knives.
Oh, shit.
They're fucking dropping Wolverine Easter eggs.
What if Wolverine is the fucking end credit scene for this fucking show?
Okay, here's what they can do.
Because there's been a ton of like Wolverine casting rumors lately too.
Here's my pitch for it. Jen deals with the show, and at the very end, she just goes like, "I just need to be alone. I'm just gonna go camping for a week." Where are you going? Oh, I'm just going up to a park up in Canada. And then the end credits, like the post credits, is you just see a man in a yellow suit stalking, looking at a tent, and you see Jen Walters at a campfire, snicked, like the original first appearance of Wolverine.
That would be cool. But I'd also love it if he showed up in that dumbass Weapon X outfit with the big head thing.
That would be fine. I personally want the yellow. I want Weapon X. I want Weapon X to be a program from the 60s.
I mean, showing him in the yellow costume would put an enormous amount of good faith out there to comic fans that have been bitching about him never wearing about that.
I can understand if it's not yellow and blue. I can understand if it's the yellow and orange costume or the orange brown one.
Look, I accept yellow and orange and yellow and brown as canon alternate costumes for Wolverine, but it's yellow and blue or civvies for me.
I really do love the orange and brown though, because like X-Men Evolution, that was his costume there, and it has like the giant armpit holes, which just like is a sick look for like weird beefy superhero characters, like Colossus.
But you know? For me, it's always going to be yellow and blue tiger stripes Jim Lee all the way.
I think orange and brown was John Byrne.
Mm-hmm. I do also like the XForce variation. That's cool, but he shouldn't wear that unless it's in an XForce movie.
Yeah. We may get the orange and brown because it's like we're doing John Byrne stuff. It might be a fun little homage.
Maybe, but we're completely pie in the sky in there because it's highly unlikely he'll be in this show.
Yeah, no, we're pulling fan fiction. Don't worry about it, folks. Yeah. I like how crushed she is of like, oh, I have to be SheHulk to do this. Okay.
Yeah, because that's the good thing about the commenting on sexism in a workplace in this episode. I feel is they take the SheHulk identity and they use that as an allegory for things like diversity, things like over sexualizing or putting it in a higher standard on female employees.
Well, I think it's a comment on how there's a very strict women's formal business wear tends to be kind of strict in some companies. So it could be a comment on that of like, oh no, you have to wear heels.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Definitely. But that's what I'm saying is it runs along those lines.
Yeah. There were I've seen some complaints of like, oh man, this feels too short. I think this breezed by. It was great. This is what I want. I want it to be bite-sized. I want it to get in, get out, tell its jokes, not overstay. I don't
understand the people who say an episode of a Disney Plus show is too short. Like there's two camps I always see. There's people who, as the shows are happening, go like, oh man, this episode was so short. I want it to be long. I want an hour long. I want a 2 hour long. I want to watch the finale of Stranger Things season 4 length episode of whatever Star Wars Marvel thing I'm watching. And then there are people who come back and watch these after the fact and go, this was too fucking long. I can't watch all this. What the fuck?
People are just getting fucking weak when it comes to watching shit.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with, like, are y'all not lifting your fucking reading muscles, your watching muscles? Like, dude, come on.
You gotta be able to go with the flow. Like, I hate the people who are like, oh, the 2-hour fan edit of the Kenobi series is highly superior and it takes out all this boring bullshit. That boring bullshit is context. It's flavor. It's fucking texture. How would you like to eat a completely smooth, completely tasteless steak? That's what you're doing there.
Like, I'm just bringing this up because it's the first comparison I can make in my head. There's a thing in manga that often shows still panels of the scenery and the environment because it shows the tone.
Yeah.
It shows the air. And sometimes knowing what the air feels like is good for storytelling.
Indeed.
You want to watch it, but you don't know what to watch? Watch something.
Literally watch anything. It doesn't fucking matter.
Like, that's the thing. Like,
just consume and move on to the next one.
Yeah. Like, dudes, come on. I watched all of fucking Smallville in a fucking row. I binged that shit. All the fucking seasons. No breaks. I just got done watching the fucking, 12, 13, maybe even more, hour series. I just watched it. Didn't bitch, didn't moan, paid attention. You know?
almost like our generation has an attention span problem or something.
That's bullshit. Because I have fucking ADHD.
That's what I'm saying. You're rising above.
I am stronger than you. I am superior.
Challenge Boingo Rider. Watch a fucking Disney Plus show.
Watch any show without fucking expectations and understand what the author's trying to tell you without just going like, but that's not what I want. Well, fuck off. That's what the author's fucking saying.
What you want doesn't matter. We can't judge a show based on our own expectations. We judge a show based on what the creators were trying to accomplish.
And then you asked, did they accomplish it?
Mm-hmm. If you're making a video about a show and your opening segment is, at first I thought this show was going to be like this, but then it turned out to be like this, and that made me feel X. You suck at making YouTube videos. Go kill yourself.
Welcome to the NoPrize Rant section that apparently is going to happen every week as we get more and more frustrated with our peers.
I just don't like other humans. So let's talk about the Abomination and him being the through line on this show, apparently.
Fact that a low-tier god? What?
I damn sure did. Anyways, Abomination.
It's nice to see him back. It's fun to see the character.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the actor's definitely taking a little more liberty and having fun with it, but like that's fine. If
This
that's
is
what
a
it takes to
comedy.
get people
It's
back,
a comedy.
that's cool.
And anybody who
Yeah.
fucking complains about the fucking diversity of tone in the MCU is, again, fucking weak. Learn shit, you fucking numbskulls.
Mm-hmm. I don't get why.
He hasn't shown up yet, Buster. Wong hasn't shown up yet.
Wong might be in the next episode,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I like how it's not necessarily that he's telling jokes. It's that he's just gotten weird and gone a little stir crazy being in prison for so long. And so he's saying stuff that are making people look at him, and those looks are a joke.
Yeah. It's just like, you just said something really weird, and I don't know how to react. Like, it's good comedy. Oh, the haiku bit. It's like, you can see he's a little bit genuine with this. Like, I wrote some haikus. It's like, I'm remorseful. I'm trying to express these emotions. And it's just like, that feels a little put upon, but sure.
He's as genuine about his haikus as Saru Brother is, and I think that's beautiful.
Of course, this could all go out the window if he's playing a ruse on us, which is very possible.
Mm-hmm. I think he is, though, because like I said, like he talks about all this stuff he's been doing to try and repent and get better, and we saw that him and Wong were just palling around blowing off steam in Shang-Chi, and then at the end of this episode, Bruce says that he actually did send him a letter and a haiku, so I'm like, nah, he's trying to do better. He fucked up and got caught.
Yeah, I think I definitely... There's also a theory of, like, is his 7 soulmates the Thunderbolts?
That would be hilarious.
If it's like that's his way of like talking about it without talking about it.
Mm-hmm. I think so though, because I don't think they've confirmed he's in the cast of Thunderbolts.
No, he's in the Thunderbolts. They updated the cast.
Yeah, but SheHulk is also on that, so wouldn't she know about the Thunderbolts being a thing?
I have no idea.
Yes.
Oh my god, he's pulling out his eyeball. It's a white paper towel.
No, I just got a clean gun.
I know. I'm joking. Sometimes you need to make a joke out of the obvious thing that's a little bit awkward. That way it becomes a little less awkward.
Sorry if I'm grossing people out. The human body is a ship.
I'm just... Come on. Abomination got the most interesting arc in the MCU. Shame that it's also the same arc that US Agent has.
Uh-huh.
Like...
And now they're going to be in a movie together.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of the thing it's doing. It's just like, oh yeah, no. The history of the world has been completely reshaped by the idea of Captain America and superheroes. And now we're exploring bits of it. Buddy, the explanation was the joke.
Indeed.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
And now I'm explaining this joke, which is also a joke. Sometimes anti-jokes are jokes.
Correct.
What else can we say about She-Hulk? I still think the CGI is holding up good.
The CGI in this episode is actually better than the last episode I thought, and I love that they even comment on her hair looking different as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
They kind of followed up and addressed a little complaint of mine there, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's who changes the oil on the Batmobile? It's one of those questions, you know.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Grant Morrison, for giving us that example that we can use for all these days. Even though at one point in time, the Batman comics did answer that question.
Although I also think it's who pumps up the tires.
Yeah. It was Harold.
Okay.
The hunchback who lived in the Batcave.
Didn't they also make him like a black guy mechanic in the reboot?
Maybe.
Who Batman just happens to know?
I don't know. I just know that Harold was a hunchback and he died in Hush.
Hmm. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? So She-Hulk, still pretty good. Watch episode 2.
Yeah. I liked it. I will
Uh,
continue watching, and not just for this podcast.
we would be watching the show if it wasn't for the podcast.
Correct.
Hooray. That is what you call a person named Ray who is a whore.
Fucking bad.
What? I don't understand why you're laughing. I just said a factual statement. Hey, you want to know what's another factual statement? Star Trek 4, Matt Shankman, to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, apparently, I can't remember. Did we find out a while ago that Mark Webb wasn't going to be doing Fantastic
We found
Four
out that
after
Mark
all?
Webb wasn't going to do it a while ago, yes.
Okay. Yeah. But now they found a replacement, and I'm assuming they're going to be highlighting him a lot at D23. And after a quick Google, it doesn't seem like he's done anything super notable. He's a relative unknown, which makes it interesting that he was first attached to direct a Star Trek movie, and now he's being tapped for Fantastic Four. Clearly, the guy has some kind of knack for interest in sci-fi.
Yeah. Any notable thing he did do? Like, has he written anything? Part of a TV show?
I think he had written on some show that I recognize. Hang on, I'll Google his name again real quick. Pull up his IMDb. Oh yeah, that's right. He was the head writer and director of WandaVision.
That makes total sense.
He's also done directing on Game of Thrones, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and The Great.
Good.
So he's a very experienced lad.
Star Trek, honestly, I think, kind of just maybe not focus on the movieverse anymore. The TV shows are starting to do better. A lot of people are enjoying Brave New World and Discovery now.
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New World? Okay. I thought it was Brave. But what people are enjoying...
off of the frickin' intro statement, yeah. And then there's... It's weird because like I am somewhat interested in a Star Trek in a Kelvin Trek 4 because if only because like it's now been long enough that Kelvin Trek is almost kind of nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, that's Star Trek is such a weird pot of shit at this point that I don't even think about it too much. Like Star Trek is effectively dead to me, and that's not to be like a negative like oh it's all shit, it's just it's too hard to parse anymore.
Yeah, Strange New Worlds is a show that came out. It stars Captain Kirk's mentor, I think.
No, his predecessor, the guy who captained the Enterprise before Kirk, which is a whole thing because in the original pilot, the captain was a guy named Christopher Pike, and there was a slightly different cast. And then they retconned in later in the original series that was actually an older crew of the Enterprise, and so now they're expanding on that crew's adventures with Strange New Worlds.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're doing things, and people are enjoying some of them, and people are also looking at Star Trek's very own Riverdale, such as Picard.
Mm-hmm. And Discovery in some cases.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who hate Discovery and a lot of people who like Discovery, and I'm like, I watched the first episode and went, nah, I don't care.
Well, here's the thing that you won't care about because of the toy, not because of the design. We got a new look at Ironheart's suit in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, it's an interesting bit of news because we all thought that she was just going to get like her version of the Mark I in Wakanda Forever, but apparently she will have an upgraded, fairly comic accurate suit in the movie based on this toy.
Yeah.
But we should also acknowledge like this is a Titan hero.
Yeah,
this is one of the cheapest lines of toys Hasbro puts out. So there's a lot of detail missing from this.
Yeah. I do really enjoy the legs. I like how chunky they are.
Who says it looks like Radiant Black?
Well, Ironheart came out first.
That's true. I do like the chunky legs. That's cool. And that also leaves room for improvement in armors she'll make later on.
Yeah. I just like it because it obscures the feet. I like it when like certain mech suits don't have feet. It just ends in like a cylinder.
Just got big old cankles.
Yeah. It's a good look for a robot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. Looks good, looks solid. Again, Titan figure, so
Probably going to be more to it. And we'll probably see a little bit of it in the second Wakanda Forever trailer whenever that hits.
probably D23.
Yeah.
But then we have the Batgirl director says they tried to salvage the footage and they couldn't.
Yeah, okay. This is what I've been dreading tonight. We got a lot of Warner Brothers news to go over because a lot of development has been happening for a while over this week. The first and foremost is that literally the director and the writer of the movie apparently tried to go onto the drive they had stored all the footage on, and they were locked out, and by the time they got in, they found that it had all either been moved or deleted. Which means this movie might not even exist anymore. There might not even be a way to make a cut of it. And it also means that these directors are total bros because they were probably trying to illegally upload it.
They're trying to leak. They're trying to pull a Ryan Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that really sucks. Apparently, they've been also trying to get together like a memorial screening on the WB lot, which is, oh boy. And I don't know what to make of it because it's like I wasn't excited for this movie, but the whole debacle around its cancellation has just been so fascinating.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Batgirl probably gets a secret screening for cast and crew mid cancellations.
Yeah,
That's what you're talking about.
Not too much word on what exactly went down, just that this was something they tried to pull off and did apparently end up happening. Which I suppose is good. It's nice that those people actually got to see their work somewhat completed, but like, damn.
Yeah, no, it's just not a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But then Aquaman 2 and Shazam release dates delayed again.
Yeah. And evidently this stems from because a bunch of Warner Brothers projects either got canceled or deleted or delayed in the last week because Warner Brothers only has enough money to release 2 more movies this year, which isn't as bad as it sounds considering there's only like 4 months left in the year.
Yeah.
But still.
It's like it's just a variety of like
Mm-hmm. And the movies they showed they decided to put out were Black Adam, which I get because The Rock is The Rock. And then I Love You, Darling, which is a movie I literally hadn't heard of until this week.
Yeah. But fucking WB's just been in a weird place ever since the AOL stuff.
So apparently, the whole reason this all started up is not because of all the crazy like pump and dump theories we've had, but just the people, including Zaslav, who came on recently, saw that the company were in the red, and now they're scrambling to do everything they can to try and get it back in the black so they can have a good report on their taxes next year. And as Buster just pointed out in the comments or in the chat, they've now lost $20 billion in shares.
Hold on, I'm checking something. You're kind of roboting out just a tiny, tiny bit. I was just seeing something.
It's showing I have an okay connection.
Yeah. It may just be all of my settings and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it just seems to be a lot of my settings and things. Don't worry about it right now. But hey, I don't know if this is good news. It's just more news. Ezra Miller meets with Warner Bros. Execs.
Yeah, apparently, the rumors of Warner Brothers aiding and abetting Miller throughout the whole rampage are inaccurate because Miller went to talk to Warner Brothers for the first time this week, and they said that the fact that Flashpoint might have gotten canceled is what got them to snap out of it, which is very interesting. But I don't know what exactly to say about it. It's just like, what?
This is not the situation you want this guy to be in. Because it's like, okay, sure, if it's a mental health thing, yeah, no, get help, do all that kind of stuff. But, like, that doesn't excuse what you did. It just gives you a reason why you were doing it. You know what I mean?
Bat Wheels hasn't been canceled yet? That's interesting, considering they probably canceled every other DC animation project at this point.
Have they canceled Harley Quinn?
Not that I know of. I think Harley Quinn and Peacemaker are like the two things that are confirmed to be safe right now.
And you know what the other thing is? That I'm just waiting for the moment it happens. AEW shit.
Yeah, that's a big scary Damocles sword.
I honestly though, I think AEW is a little bit safer because all the Warner stuff is just distributing it. They aren't putting money into producing it.
Yeah, and I mean their contract is with a subsidiary of Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Buster. I'm not saying we need to give them a doubt. It's like it's like looking at a person who committed heinous acts in prisons going like, yo, no, I fucked up. And it's like, yeah, no, you did fuck up. And I'm glad you saw that. And I'm glad you're fixing yourself. You still fucked up. Yeah.
Ezra Miller is Chris Chan for regular celebrities.
God. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Am I wrong?
You're not fucking wrong. But we're not doing this.
We're not going to talk about the fact that The Flash has also been receiving rave reviews from test screenings and that people are saying it's on par with the Dark Knight trilogy.
WP has been putting out this same goddamn statement with just copy replace the fucking movie since the Dark Knight. Because someone posted all the headlines of it.
Yeah. And I'm also just like, how? How is this bonkers, weird crossover, cameo-filled, solo superhero reboot adventure that's supposed to completely restructure how the continuity of DC movies is going to work going forward as good as the Dark Knight trilogy? There's no fucking way.
No.
There's just no fucking way. Like, it might actually be good, and if it is, hooray, but it's not going to be that kind of good. That's
what I'm saying, Buster. It's like, the Suicide Squad screening said that too. Whatever. They're trying to save themselves. Batman 2 confirmed to still be happening. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson returning.
Yes, the one silver lining in all this bullshit this week is that Reeves apparently finally signed on to do 2 more The Batman movies, and Pattinson is going to be coming with him. because apparently the Batman was just intended to be a done and one, and we'll see how it goes from there the whole time, which is cool and interesting, but like, God, imagine if they hadn't had the success of this movie to fall back on right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to like Matt Reeves and go like, hey, do you just want to do cinematic stuff? We have no idea what the fuck
Will
we're
you
doing.
please be our Kevin Feige?
And I can just see him going, no.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Also, JMD Mateus, I got mad respect for you, man, but Bruce Timm does not need to be the Kevin Feige of live action DC.
He's already been Kevin Feige of the animated. He doesn't need it again.
That was one of the lamest fucking takes I've seen in a while.
I mean, it's an understandable take, but it's like comic book conservative takes.
Yeah, and it's like Bruce Timm is also old as shit, and most of the recent stuff he's made has not been that good.
No. Honestly, you need someone like Jeff Johns who loves the characters and will treat them with respect.
That's what's crazy. They had Jeff Johns for a hot second. He's the reason the Shazam movies even happened. And then they kicked him out in favor of other guys who kicked them out in favor of other guys who have now been kicked out by Zaslav and crew for other guys. And meanwhile, Jeff is just like, I'm still in charge of DC Comics. I'm still in charge. Read this new Flashpoint book. Read new Justice Society of America books. I swear I'm still popular, guys. People still love me.
Hey, Jeff Johns writes good books.
He does.
I'm not saying he doesn't write good books. Here's a question I have for you then.
Uh-huh.
Kevin Feige is not a comic book writer. He comes from the world of cinema. He just has a love of these characters and these worlds and these stories. Who should be the DC Kevin Feige?
I don't fucking know enough about film to know that.
Fair enough.
Part of me wants to say Adam Savage for some reason, but I don't know if he knows comics that well.
No. I just had a thought that would fucking piss you off, and it'd be hilarious.
What?
Taika Waititi. I don't remember if
he'd get closer to the fucking tone of DC Comics than anybody else has.
You know what? Taika Waititi could probably do a brilliant Plastic Man.
No, that was all Buster in the chat. Wasn't Jeff Johns part of the harassment of Cyborg's actor?
I don't remember.
Not that I know. I think that was all Joss Whedon.
It was all cinema people. Jeff Johns is just comic book guy. I don't think he had any hand in Justice League whatsoever.
Yeah. DC doesn't need a Kevin Feige IMO. I agree, but Warner Brothers doesn't think that. They want a Kevin Feige. They have wanted a Kevin Feige for years. So they need to fucking find one and stick to it already.
Honestly, again, DC doesn't need one. Because if you look at how the comics have been published, that's the mindset. Marvel has always had a figurehead taking charge and focusing the line. Stan Lee, Jim Shooter, fucking JMD Mateus, Mark Miller,
Joe Quesada,
fucking, he's writing Bendis, Hickman. Marvel has always had a guy going like, all right, this is what we're doing, guys, and everyone goes like, yes. DC has never had that.
Groups. DC has a group of people who manage a group of characters, and then so on and so forth.
And then the really good stuff just kind of sticks around. Like, honestly, you don't need a solid continuity for the movies. You can Easter egg it. You can just go
as much as I dislike it, the current status of DC films is actually very representative of DC Comics.
Yeah. You can make reference, you can show them, and if you want to do a big event, you can do a big event. You get all the actors who wants to come.
And I do like that split second right before 5G where they were like, hey, let's just focus on making good movies. And that's how we got Shazam, that's how we got the Suicide Squad, and that's how we got the Batman.
Like, imagine, you just have all these fun movies are just doing their own thing, and then fucking, I'm trying to think of an important DC event like Civil War or Planet Hulk or something like that DC has, and I'm only thinking of fucking Invasion.
You got Crisis, you got Batman Incorporated, you got
No Man's Land.
Yeah, No Man's Land.
No Man's Land would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they kind of did No Man's Land a little in the Batman.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like you can do. Here's the thing: Crisis seems too big.
Yeah.
What I mean is like you need a storyline that can fit in an Avengers movie. That's all you need. You just need a JLA story. And you get the people who can be on the JLA. You get the person who's currently playing Superman, currently playing Batman, and you just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Marvel is continuity. DC is vibes. Speaking of continuity, Mr. Sinister's getting the comic event.
Yeah, we have a fall. We finally know what that teaser from last week was. The SOS X-Men thing in January of 2010. SOS stands for Sins of Sinister, which I'm actually fairly intrigued by because all the Sinister stuff in the comics recently has been pretty good, and we know that the current X-Men writers have been going off of all the bullet points Hickman left for them.
Yeah.
And if you remember, way back in Hawks and Pox, there was a tease about like a future where Sinister has a bunch of cloning labs on the moon.
Yeah, and if we read the press release, we were also told this is the future Sinister wants. Teaser shows some. Oh, wait, hold on. Can the X-Men survive the experience? Can anyone discover how twisted mutant kind becomes when Mr. Sinister achieves victory in Sins of Sinister?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sinister's cool. Sinister makes just good bad guy.
Yeah.
Just want a good Superman again. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to reading a actually good and comprehensible Sinister story. Because we haven't had that in a long time.
We've never had that. What are you talking about?
Hello,
I'm Mr. Sinister. I'm from Victorian England, but I live forever, and I'm not a mutant. I'm just a human. I like genetics. Hey, Jean and Scott, fuck each other because I want your child. Hello, Gambit. I'll give you a lobotomy.
I love comic books.
Buddy. Hey, we're getting a spinoff of Mary Jane and Black Cat.
Yeah, evidently this is going to be the fourth Black Cat book from Jed MacKay, following up on both the events of Iron Cat and the upcoming Spider-Man X-Men crossover Dark Web. And I'm pretty freaking hyped for it because if you remember, Jed MacKay wrote that Black Cat Mary Jane Beyond one-shot that we loved so much.
Oh, yeah.
So this is definitely going to be good, and I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially because just by those little daemons, seems like we're going to be dealing with some Limbo stuff. Maybe magic shows up.
Marvel, I pray to fucking God. You are doing things with Mary Jane. You are doing things with Black Cat. Make them friends. Make them really good friends. And then just fucking nip all this shit in the bud and pull a Wolverine, Jean, and Scott. You don't have to make it implicit. You don't have to make it text. You can leave it subtext. But please, just fucking for me, stop this. Stop yanking on this fucking dick. Please, let it come.
I mean, Jed already wrote them as friends in the Beyond one-shot. So
you know what I'm talking about. Also, hey, yeah. Mary Jane has slot machines. Probably going to be the return of Jackpot.
I hadn't thought of that. That's fun.
You know, Black Cat, Jackpot, good luck, bad luck. Hey, it's cool. It's
yeah.
Oh my God, it's Spider-Man's luck. He has all the good luck and all the bad luck all at once.
Fuck
it. But yeah, we'll probably see the return of Jackpot.
Didn't they reveal that that's not Mary Jane?
I think they revealed that. I think they pulled a fucking Hobgoblin.
Oh, jeez.
Hold on, let's check. Let's check fucking Marvel continuity real quick.
Oh boy, my favorite. Time to consult the.
One of those Sony Spider-Man movies may just not happen. No, no, there is a yeah, no, Jackpot was a different character.
Jackpot was a character during the Brand New Day era, but he repeatedly teased might have been Mary Jane doing superhero stuff.
Yeah. At first, speculated character was Mary Jane because she called Peter Tiger. Similarly, the name Jackpot echoes a classic line. However, the speculation Jackpot and Mary Jane proved untrue. Jackpot, she wore a red wig. However, here's the thing. If she just has the Jackpot technology, Mary Jane can be the new Jackpot.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah. You know. Yeah, but Jackpot was just a superhero. That hasn't been around for a while, Buster. Marvel announces Wasp series, and I imagine it's being done by the same people who are doing the Ant-Man one.
Yeah, it's a going to be a direct follow-up to the current Al Ewing Ant-Man series, very much going in the same line of celebrating the legacy of the character for her 60th anniversary. And I'm actually more excited about this than I was the Ant-Man book because we're finally going to have a title focusing on Nadia again. I have missed my daughter so much.
Yeah. Shame we only have one Ant-Man book out right now. We haven't had the rest of them yet.
Yeah.
What if we do this and then we get a third series? It's just Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it's just like part 1, part 2, and a part 3 of a trilogy.
I mean, that has been known to happen. So it would be even great if they came up with some way of doing like a book that, not necessarily like a Giant Man book, because I'd want a book that features like all the characters that grow instead of shrinking. So give me Giant Man, give me Stature,
Goliath.
Do
bring him back from the dead because he's still not back from Civil War.
Yeah, Buster, I need to read Nadia's adventure. Yes, you do.
You probably read Nadia.
Read The Unstoppable Wasp. That is underrated as fuck.
We also got a Monica Rambeau series happening.
Yeah.
I know why this is happening. Dude, fuck. You joked made a tweet. It's like, oh yeah, no Defenders big reveals. Like, no, this issue with Defenders directly talked about Monica Rambeau.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just tie-in with the movie that's coming out.
So. I mean, it is, but it's also like they're setting up. It's not coming out of nowhere.
Okay.
But also, good art. Really nice art. I like that art.
Yeah.
I like that art. Hey, I don't want to show you the notes. You don't get to see the notes. Those are just for me and Zach.
Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Rick Moranis. I would watch it.
Honey, we shrunk the superheroes. Oh, wait. No, they can just do that themselves.
Yeah. It's kind of their thing.
You know what needs to happen?
What needs to happen?
Matt Reeves needs to do a Plastic Man movie. Because Plastic Man's always in Gotham, and he's always related to Batman. And I would love to see him take the gritty world of Gotham he's developed and just put Plastic Man in there.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I feel like the most we'd ever get, I'd be perfectly fine with this. I'd be able to move with it. It's just a cameo of civilian Plastic Man.
I like Plastic Man. I think he's a cool character. You know why? It's because he's basically a Marvel character. Oh, you have a tragic backstory that you regret and have a great amount of guilt over, and you are the product of extreme body horror, and now you want to use that power for good. Am I wrong? I'm going to take that as I am correct, and thank you for pointing this out, Boingo. I'm going to take that as that's what that means. Hey, Vac. You good there, bud?
Just, yeah,
You,
I'm here.
come on, look. We can be honest here. Marvel has a distinct way of creating superheroes, and DC has a distinct way of creating superheroes. Doesn't mean they can't use the other way. It's just sometimes you kind of notice a pattern.
Okay.
All right, whatever. Marvel Voices introduce a new Latin character in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, because Marvel Voices is still happening, and we're getting a new one soon. There's gonna be they're gonna use it to introduce a new character again. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them using these celebration anthologies to kind of introduce new characters. But on the cover, we got Nova, we got America Chavez, we have White Tiger, we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and we have Richter of the X characters. He's on Excalibur right now. No, he's not. He's on, like, it's not Excalibur, it's the fantasy team. They're doing shit.
Yeah. I mostly just put this on here because I figured you'd want to be aware it was happening.
Yeah. Though this is kind of funny. Have you been seeing what DC's been doing?
What the fuck is it now?
So, they're doing a bunch of variant covers for Hispanic Heritage Month and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
So, Kyle Rayner, who's half Mexican in the comics, he's been that way for quite some time.
Oh, yeah, I saw this. It's fucking stupid, but I don't care.
The original art had him holding aloft the Mexican flag and his Green Lantern. It's very reminiscent of a piece of classic Mexican art. And then DC told the artist to change it to Kyle Rayner holding a generic Viva Mexico flag and a bag of tamales.
Isn't that fun?
Meanwhile, Marvel's over here just going like, hey, look at all our cool Latin and Hispanic characters that are just like looking badass and doing cool shit.
Yep.
Yeah, you doing okay there over there, bud?
All around me are familiar faces. Worn out places.
So apparently Neil Gaiman spilling some fucking Watchmen tea. I'm not sure if it's tea. Would you like to explain?
Yeah, so apparently all the quotes in Watchmen were actually just Alan Moore calling up Neil Gaiman and being like, bruh, I need help here.
Can you tell me
What's
about the Bible?
What's a good quote? What's a good quote to put here? I think the reason they used this panel is it initially started with Moore going like, "Hey, what's that quote that goes kind of like?" And then Gaiman was like, "Oh, it's from this part of the Book of Job." And then he was like, "All right, sweet." And then a week later, he called him back and was like, "Hey, I need a quote that kind of works here." And then he just kept doing that for the rest of the book.
I mean, hey, if you're gonna talk to your friends to create stuff. It's cool. It's cool. I just think it's cute. Just imagining Alan Moore is going like, "Oh, Neil, I need a quote for this part of the book." It's gonna be all bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah. Buster, stop acknowledging the Discord chat in the YouTube chat. That's unprofessional.
Stop chatting in the chat.
It's too meta. I know we're talking about SheHulk, but that's too meta.
Can you explain the death? They're bringing back the black bags for Death of Superman. Are they like re-releasing the book?
So it is Death of Superman's, I believe, 30th anniversary. So they're doing a big anniversary one-shot with a bunch of short stories set around that time.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to call them in polybags.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool. The last time I remember anything being in a polybag was the last issue of Shattered Grid.
Oh, what's up,
Hey, Kelvin.
Kelvin? We're talking about Death of Superman, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see,
I legitimately do not care because fucking Death of Superman is just one of those things that's like I get why people like it and people are nostalgic for it, but like I never saw it until my like teens, and even as a teenager, I was like, this is too try hard. This is a little too 90s for me.
yeah, it's an important book though.
Yeah.
Rob Liefeld launching new superhero universe with Heroborn.
Airborne.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Because apparently Rob recently put out a special issue of what was it? He put out like a reprint of one of his old books. Brigade Remastered Edition #1, and at the end of it, he put in a new scene with a character called Airborne. That's his version of the "What if Superman was evil" trope. And he even says in the interview in this article that he literally did it to cash in on The Boys and Brightburn.
all right, so we're just skipping all of that.
Yeah.
Hey, Iron Man Mark 7 open armor version, Hot Toys. That's a cool statue.
It is a fucking statue. I don't know why they did this or it's advertised as an action figure. I mean, like,
It's an accessory for Tony Stark.
It's a stupidly expensive accessory because that's got to be like $200 at least.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it's priced well. I'm just saying,
like, Hot Toys is very decadent and very like only a select few are gonna go for this, but even this is like me going, you're reaching a little too far there, Icarus. Calm down.
yeah, it looks cool, but it's a very pricey accessory.
Yeah, and I mean the armor only looks like that for like 5 seconds in the movie.
Change toy distribution strategy. What's the going on here, bud?
Okay, so basically, in a recent interview, one of Hasbro's executives said that they have been working and are going to continue to be working to address the issues they've been having with distribution throughout the pandemic, and they're going to try and carve out specific routes for specific different things, and also just get better at making products that can be changed on the fly if a movie release gets changed. Because in this article, they show some images of a toy that was supposed to be Rise of the Beasts, the next Transformers movie, but after it got delayed, it got put into the Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures line. So they're focusing on making their children's product that's mainly focused on time releases much more evergreen, so that if need be, they can still put it out and not have to have it clogging up a warehouse or a distribution line, while also making sure the collector stuff kind of gets back to coming at a more steady flow. Because it's been better in the last like year and a half than it was towards the beginning of the pandemic, but it's still kind of spout and spurt at the moment.
I mean, fair enough. Hey, as long as they're like acknowledging that, hey, people want changes, cool.
Yeah. So basically, it's like Marvel Legends, you're probably going to have a more consistent flow of them from now on. But Marvel movie targeted stuff, it's going to be very touch and go.
How does this affect Power Rangers? Probably the same way Legends would be, because you have a lot of backlog of characters that you can slowly roll out at a steady pace. And each brand new season's just probably going to be like, here's the toys for the season.
You're going to see them kind of more focus on getting Lightning Collection out more regularly, and focus really tightly on getting, say, the Cosmic Fury toys out like within a week of Cosmic Fury going up on Netflix. Or if they can't accomplish that, having it in somewhat generic packaging that maybe just says Power Rangers, or maybe even has Lightning Collection branding on it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even. I could see them having a spot for like a logo that they can change. Of
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. This is Galaxy Fury, whatever. We can put that on there for right now, but in the future, after like 6 months, we just change it to the regular Power Ranger logo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that might affect collecting though. Like, what about
Oh
values?
yeah.
Could this change values up stuff?
Well, I mean, there are already tons of people out there who collect packaging variants and packaging errors. So this is just going to cause those people to have even more wallet pain than they usually do.
Yep. Hey, guess what? That Batman you really liked, other than the one fact it didn't have the thing, is for pre-order.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little while back, and also came up this weekend while we were watching AEW and Boingo's server. The Mezco 112 Collective Golden Age Batman Caped Crusader Edition has been officially solicited. This is essentially going to be a black and gray version of the blue and gray Batman that they put out in a 2-pack with Two-Face earlier this year. We also saw this on display at Comic-Con with no real information on what it was or how it was coming out. This is going to be a Mezco store exclusive and is already sold out with the option to go on a wait list for if somebody decides to cancel or not. Because that's just how Mezco exclusives tend to roll.
Yeah.
I think this looks very, very good. Mm-hmm. It's very close to Batman's kind of earlier, more spooky appearances. And it's very close to kind of the evergreen Batman I would want. The only thing I'd really change up is I prefer the yellow oval chest emblem, and I also prefer a more pouch-looking belt as opposed to the capsule one we have here.
I don't mind either way.
Mm-hmm. As is, it still looks like a very good Batman, and a really nice option for anybody who missed out on that Batman and Two-Face 2-pack, or just wanted the Batman and didn't want to have to pay the price to get the Batman and the Two-Face.
Yep. Looks good.
Yeah.
DC Page Puncher Wave 2, Batman Green Arrow, and Flash and Cold.
Yeah, so we talked about this getting teased last week. Essentially, the second wave of the Multiverse Page Punchers is going to focus on Injustice designs, and it's going to have an exclusive Injustice comic written by Tim Seeley, which is kind of neat, but I don't know why you do that when the already critically acclaimed Tom Taylor book is right there, and you could just pack that in and get kids into comic book stores. But whatever, I guess this accomplishes the same thing. Honestly, none of these figures excite me all that much because I'm not a huge fan of Injustice designs.
That does not look like Ollie. That looks like it's supposed to be a Connor.
Yeah. It's an okay-looking Green Arrow, though. It's not a bad design.
It's just something about the face just makes me go like, that's not Ollie, that's Connor.
I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I can see where you're coming from. And then this Batman, I actually really hate how this Batman looks. Like, I don't care if that's the game design. I don't care if that's how that costume is supposed to look. It just looks like a bunch of parts and pieces slapped together.
Yeah, that's kind of the NetherRealm look, though.
Mm-hmm. And as for Flash and Captain Cold, we haven't seen too much of them yet, so I'm kind of reserving judgment. But as is, they look interesting.
Yeah. Either way, they're happening. McFarlane Toys, DC's Comics Designer Edition, Batman. We got a animated Batman figure.
Yeah, this was kind of surprise drop out of nowhere because Target is doing their fall Geek Out event where they just put up different exclusives every Friday. And Todd didn't announce this at all until like the night before it was going up. And this is essentially the Justice League animated series Batman from the first wave with some newly sculpted parts and pieces and a new base to kind of replicate the opening of the animated series. And clearly the packaging is very much about highlighting that. And I mean, it's neat. I can see why people who would want it, hardcore animated series fans, are hugely into stuff like this. But for me, it looks like a really clunky remold that I wouldn't want to pick up even if I was collecting this line.
Yeah, the chest looks too big for animated series.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for it's good for Justice League. It's good for Unlimited. too big for animated.
Like, it's clear that they just took that Justice League body, changed the emblem, and gave it a new cape.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just, it's what it is. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Multiverse gold label Tim Drake.
Yeah, this is a kind of cool Target exclusive that leaked out and then got an official announcement a day later, which is that we're getting Tim Drake in his classic Red Robin costume. Not Red Robin, but his red costume as Robin.
Was this like 2000s?
Yeah, I believe this is what he was wearing kind of close to the time of Hush.
Like right before Damian came around?
Yeah, thereabouts. And it is one of the more iconic costumes for him as Robin, just because that's what some of the first Tim Drake figures were. Like the DC Universe Classics by Mattel. The first Robin they made was Tim Drake in this costume. So this is a very iconic costume for some people. Not my favorite Robin costume by a long shot, but I get why people would like it. And it's cool that Todd's making it, and it seems to be a mostly original sculpt.
Nice. Looks cool. Hey, would you look at this? We got some classic Popeye figures.
Yeah, this is a line I've been wanting to talk about on the show for a while, but I just missed on the initial announcement because I thought it was animated series, but no, it's based on the old comics, which is Popeye Classics by Boss Fight Studios. They solicited the first wave a few months back and just now announced this 2-pack of Popeye and Bluto, which I think looks like a really fun sort of gateway drug for the line. There's a lot of cool spunk and pep to these figures. They look very accurate to the old Popeye comics, and I like some of the unique parts they come with, like the beat up Popeye head.
Yeah, looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta respect the classics. Know your heritage in terms of comic books.
Definitely.
Mean Machine. Judge Dredd.
I've never heard of this character, but this is the latest announcement for the Hiya Toys 3 3/4 inch Judge Dredd line. And I mean, he looks fairly sick. I can see people buying him just to use that robot arm for customizing fodder. But I've never heard of this character. This feels like a very deep pull, but I also haven't read a lot of Judge Dredd.
He's really not. He's like a semi-regular character. He showed up in the Stallone movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's in the Stallone movie. Basically, that little dial on his forehead, he can, like, turn it and make himself, like, angrier and stronger.
Huh. So he's like the Hulk with a remote control.
But it's on his forehead.
Interesting. It seems like it's crazy how much stuff Hiya has announced for their 3 3/4 inch line, though, and yet we still don't know anything about the 6-inch line they're supposedly doing.
Yeah. But.
Is it comic book time?
It is comic book time because we've gone through all the news. Hold on, my back's been wonky. Trying to stretch. So it is time for the comics. So hey, buddy, want to tell me about Detective Comics?
All right, Detective Comics number. What the fuck is this? Jesus fucking Christ! Let me pull it up on my phone.
It's 1063.
Yeah, 1063 is how I would pronounce that because it just rolls off the tongue better. This book continues to be really interesting. This whole run by Ram V and Albuquerque. I absolutely love the sort of take on a reformed Two-Face that we see in this, which is just that he's fucking bored out of his mind and he's just sitting in a club waiting for Batman or someone from the criminal underworld to come ask him for help. And eventually he does get dragged into the bullshit. And there's like this terrifying moment where Harvey can feel the Two-Face persona taking over again. And he's like, oh God, no, not like this, not like this. And it's super interesting. I also love the weird sort of aristocratic foreign villains they've set up who are apparently the ancestral owners of Gotham.
Hmm.
Like, apparently their family became the Arkhams, and they have the original deed to the city, and that's why they're just now showing up, is that all the legal stuff just now got cleared up. So they're showing up to essentially assert their claim of Gotham and kind of clear out all the riffraff, which I think is going to make for some interesting social commentary. But right now, we're just getting all kinds of interesting stuff about Batman starting to get up there and being tired and not really knowing how to deal with some of these stranger and weirder threats that are coming about in this book. And overall, I really like it. It's crazy to me that we're getting a really cool and interesting Detective Comics run at the same time as a really cool and interesting Batman run. I would definitely recommend people check this out.
Nice. You're not gonna activate? Okay, fine, buddy. Hi, I read Defenders issue 2.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
So what do you know about the Beyonders?
I know the Beyonders started the Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Spider-Man taught him how to poop.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he was an Inhuman for a brief second.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know that Hickman said he was something else entirely for a brief second.
Well, all of that is true. So basically, this is kind of framing out how everything in the Marvel multiverse and everything kind of works. So, first there was nothing.
Okay.
And then there were people who worshipped it because that's the only thing they could have done. Then eventually a group of them rebelled and became color. Like it was monochrome, and then they colored themselves and became the Celestials.
As you do.
So they started creating the universes and reality and all that stuff. The fervorments and things of that nature. The Celestials wanted basically an hey, these things are getting a little chaotic. Plus, hey, it's always a good idea to have something to check yourself. So they created what is like little things that act as a checks and balances, and they're like Omega Men, I think they were called. Okay. Which is another term for the Beyonders. That's what the Beyonders are. They were created by the Celestials to basically keep check of reality, fix what's broken, and fight the Celestials if they need to be fought. Okay. And meanwhile, our team is just listening to the Beyonders, taking all this in and going like, okay, all right. What the fuck? And they're going like, all right, cool. Eternity needs us to do something. We need to get out of here. America Chavez, put on the mask, the Eternity mask, so you can fight the Beyonder on equal footing. So she does that. Meanwhile, Loki, who's currently in a feminine form, so I'll be using she, her pronouns for her, is taunting the other Beyonders and going like, haha, guess what? I'm the goddess of story. You're trapped in my narrative now. And guess what? The underdogs win in stories. And the Beyonders just goes like, fuck you. I am an infinite being and you are putting me in finite areas. Do not like. It's fucking weird. It's great. It's fun. Eventually Blue Marvel goes like, alright, flies through one of their heads because they basically gave themselves mortal bodies temporarily to talk to them, and they fucking book it. And they go to the void between time, space, reality, and anything. And they are saved by Galactus's mom being turned into the Phoenix Force.
Alright.
It is very weird. It is very minutia. It is very beautiful art. Read it if you're interested. You read Action Comics
Yeah. Okay. So this is the penultimate issue of the War World saga, which I wasn't entirely expecting. I didn't feel like we were quite there yet last issue, but man, do they blisteringly rush through some plot points in kind of a fun way here. Like basically, this is a big old Superman doing kind of a Herculean test of strength thing here, where he has to go to the underworld of War World to fight an ancient god in order to earn the right to use their weapon to defeat Lobo. And it's very fun, very crazy, and they basically have a big old cliffhanger that is going to be concluded in the War World Apocalypse giant-sized one-shot that's coming out in a couple of weeks. And then next month we're moving on to the crossover with Son of Kal-El, where he comes back to Earth. So this book is rocking and rolling. Again, I feel like we've gotten back into the like, oh, shit needs to happen state of mind that this book had for a bit. And I'm super happy about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the next issue turns out.
Uh, you stop skipping the fucking thing, you goddamn dumb machine. DC Mech, you read DC Mech?
So all of my suspicions during the first issue did come true. Shiera is indeed Bruce Wayne's godmother, which is really interesting, especially because they have a very contentious relationship, it seems. And also just seeing old lady Shiera with like gray hair and in a suit is very, very different, but in a fun way. And they do some good kind of like world building in this issue as well, with showing that John Stewart and Hal Jordan are kind of piloting a Green Lantern mech that's sort of like a Jaeger, whereas the Amazons have very naturalistic mechs that are sort of similar to the ones that are coming from Apocalypse. And they're clearly doing kind of a quick everybody trying to get together and work together, form a Justice League of sorts story leading into the arrival of Apocalypse, which I'm looking forward to, especially with how everybody is very standoffish towards Superman because he's the newcomer in this universe, which is very fun. And because it wouldn't be a DC of book without it. Lex is up to some fuckery. He's stealing bits of Superman's cape.
Nice. Overall, still good?
Yeah, I'm still enjoying this.
Hell yeah.
It's a fun little side book.
We both read Damage Control.
So this kind of confirmed a suspicion I've always had, which is that I like the concept of damage control, and I like it as a thing in other things, but I don't need it at the forefront, and I don't need to read a book about it.
No, it's very much gags. It's a comedy book.
Uh-huh. Which I should have known going in, because they fucking loudly proclaim it's from the writer of the Goldbergs, and I actually really don't like the Goldbergs. I feel like it's just an even more egregious Big Bang Theory style show. Like it's like Big Bang Theory meets The Wonder Years, but not good.
I mean, the dude's writing about his own life, so I don't know what that says about his life.
Yeah. And yeah, just the style of comedy they were doing here, all the like forced guest stars and stuff like that, and some of the flippant nature of other characters. Like, I get it because it's a thing you do in workplace comedies, but it didn't work for me as like trying to understand damage control as a thing that functions within the Marvel universe.
I think what you're wanting is Dwayne McDuffie's original Damage Control.
Mm-hmm. Or like Fire Force for Western comics.
But yeah, it's fine. I'm probably not gonna pick it up more either. It's a neat enough. It's there for people who want it.
It's there for the people who really love damage control.
But we also both read Amazing Spider-Man number 8, Legacy 902.
Mm-hmm. So I know this issue is going to be really contentious, and I've already seen people complaining about like how could the Vulture possibly fuck Peter up that much? He's a frail old man, and Peter would never do anything in collaboration with. I don't give a fuck. This was real fun.
It's fun, and it's also, this is Peter trying to give an olive branch to Norman.
Yeah.
This is
and I think it works.
Yeah, it works. Him having spider tech is neat. It's also kind of like oh, this feels a little off on a weird way because he's basically has a spider glider.
Mm-hmm.
And pumpkin bombs.
I kind of love the idea, though, that this is gonna be a Marvel Legends.
Yeah. I like the spider bomb, though. Because people have been making that joke, oh, is one of Spider-Man's powers that he can summon spiders? Yes. Yes, it is now.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking terrifying.
It's so good, though.
It's a good book. It's good. It's solid. Romita Jr.'s art, really good. Overall, solid.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
This run is picking up.
We both read Captain America, Symbol of Truth. And the conspiracy is revealed.
I don't remember much of this.
Sam's in Wakanda. They basically pull him aside and go like, hey, we need to check your shit. And they lead him away to fucking Crossbones and his goons. And he goes like, haha.
We're just going to walk over to this friendly rock quarry to have our big Super Sentai fight.
Yeah, and Crossbones basically goes like, yeah, no, so we're going to kill you, so here's the plan. We wanted to fucking do some shit. And basically like close Wakanda down from the rest of the world. So we were going to stage a terrorism attack from Captain America. So we implanted you with a bioweapon that will activate when in contact with something. What is that something?
That's right.
Vibranium. And who shows up? Black Panther, pissed that Captain America's on Wakanda without his knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good plan, though it's slightly reminiscent of the original plan Cap fought. Yeah. Sam Cap fought.
It's fine. It's cool. It's neat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I read Marauders.
Sure did.
Charles's alien daughter is alive again because he revived her. That's good.
Sure he did.
Nova gets a symbiote for a little bit. She becomes a Venom.
Okay.
The Shi'ar Empire basically was like, yeah, you know what? We kind of fucked up. RB. Here we're gonna deal with all the traitor assholes. Sorry about this, X-Men. And the X-Men are like, yeah, no, fair. We can use this to heal and we can move forward. It's like, cool. The dude who always looks kind of wolf-like in the Shi'ar like superhero team?
Sure.
He looks at Akihiro and go like, yo, Wolverine stole our shit, but you're cool, so we're making you an honorary version of us. You're now Space Wolf. And Akihiro goes like, dope, fucking nice.
All right.
And
this series just seems like it's bowling for soup anymore.
I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. I read Judgment Day issue number 3.
All right.
Oh no, this one's great. So Sinister opens up a door in the Celestial so the X-Men can go fuck it up. And everyone's going like, why would you do this? And he goes like, why would you do this? You could kill millions. And he goes like, yeah, and save billions. We don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. This is the safer option. And like, Iron Man goes like, fuck, you're right. I hate that you're right, but you're right. And the Eternals are basically going like, you fucking asshole. We're gonna have to fight you now. Fuck you. And their programming activates and it's like, protect the Celestials. So they go and fucking try and stop the X-Men. The X-Men are going like, no, fuck you. Fuck this. Fuck it all. and they hit the core, and the Celestial blows up half the Earth. And then all the X-Men are standing right in front of Celestial. Whole, no explosion, and Jean goes, "We were in its head. It was psychically fucking with us, showing us what would fucking happen." And the Celestial basically goes like, "Yeah, now that you know this, let me do what I'm doing, you fuckers." And everyone just goes like, "Fuck. I guess."
Well, if it isn't the consequences of our own actions.
I guess we just, fucking wait. And you see some people, it's like, the woman, the psychic made of diamond, bad. The deviant warlord, good. Sinister, bad. And you just see a couple of those kind of things. And I'm trying to remember what the big final bit of it was. If you would give me a moment, I can find that for you. Give me what I want. Thank you. Okay, hold on. Come here. Get to my eye holes. Oh yeah, there's a cool moment where the deviants land on Krakoa and they're going like, "Hey, X-Men, we're here to help you out." And the X-Men are like, the fuck? What?" And and basically like the deviants are going like, "Hey, what's up, fellow deviants?" And the mutants are going like, "We're not deviants." And Crow just goes like, "Hey, fucking shut up. It doesn't matter. We're here to help."
The deviants straight up pulled "Congratulations, you are being rescued. Please do not resist."
No, Cyclops says, "We are not deviants." And the deviants, well, like, and Crow basically says, "Well, we can pass through your gates. We share enough genes for that. But to be honest, new friend, anyone on the wrong end of the Eternals theocratic lance is a deviant enough, as far as I'm concerned." He's basically like, "It don't matter if you're a fucking deviant. You're like, I see ourselves in you. We're helping you out."
Isn't this the dude who was dating Fia a few issues ago?
Yeah, forever ago. It was forever ago. It wasn't that recent. They've been flirting a little bit.
Okay.
Dupe shows up. He's cool because he's Dupe.
Shit, Dupe still exists. How about that?
Yeah. Oh no, that's what happens. So basically, Cersei and a tracker dude are in this big crystal prison thing. And they open the cell and they go like, "Luckily security's low, all this kind of stuff. We're here to break him out. I think we're in trouble only you can help with, someone to get the world singing the same hymn." Basically, they need someone to help get the world united, you know?
Oh, Jesus. Did they go get the Purple Man?
No! They got Star Fox! They got Eros! The man who makes horny air!
That's hilarious and brilliant, and I fucking hate it.
And they say, "Perhaps it's time for a little old Avengers assemble, Star Fox." Oh, I love that idea. The world will have to realize all you need is love. As I'm gonna show you what the panel looks like as we find Star Fox lounging like this. They really slutted this man up.
They sure did.
This man is absolute slut material right now.
He sure is.
That's just in, new slut detected.
Okay.
You okay there, bud? And thank God for it. Hey, Kelvin knows what he wants.
A lot of the energy is kind of gone from my body at this point.
Is it because of the story or because you're just tired?
Yes.
Hey, guess what? We both read Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
Sure did. It's
Shang-Chi
good.
goes on a old school Shang-Chi adventure full of classic references and gets betrayed.
Hey, have you read this 60s comic? Have you read this 70s comic? Have you read this one? How about this one? No, I haven't. I feel very lost and alienated right now, but I'm holding your hand tightly and I'm hoping I'll get through it.
I mean, the comic makes enough sense. They explain the mindset behind it and they explain the continuity. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they like go like, hey, this we're sorry, we're betraying you. We just don't trust your organization with this powerful artifact. You don't trust me with the powerful artifact. No. We just don't trust any of the people that work for you. So you're just leaving me here to die? You're Shang-Chi. You're gonna get out of this. You're fine. I like that moment. That's cute.
That was fun, yeah. Also, I just like the character designs of the other two. They really look like they could be G.I. Joe ninja characters.
Yeah. This is a fun little book so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm not sure if you're enjoying it.
It's all right.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not ready to drop it.
But we both read issue 3 of Public Domain.
This issue was a little fucked.
It's a little fucked, but it's like a good kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
We realize why the bearded the glasses son is so gung ho about getting money.
Yeah, he's a fucking gambler.
He's a gambling addict, and I love how they treat it though. Because like he's talking to his brother later on in the issue, going like, "I can't believe I fucked my dad over like this. That I am such a screw up. That I am this irresponsible and all this kind of stuff." And his brother goes like, "No, dude, you're sick. It's an addiction. You don't blame a person for getting cancer. You just deal with it and you help them out." And I like, I love that.
Yeah, that's good. And then there's the fucking ending of this book, which is like one of the most like cruelly accurate statements about the industry I've seen in a long time, and you know it's coming from a place in Zdarsky's head of like, this mega corporation doesn't give a fuck about comic books. They only give a fuck about what they can make that's based off of comic books.
Yep. Because essentially they pay out $60,000, which is the dude's gambling debt, and the comic rights.
Mm-hmm. And the dad's like, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. We'll start all over. We're going to publish this comic as a father and son. And you can just see on his face, it's the last fucking thing he wants to do with his life.
But like, you know that this is going to be a journey of self-discovery and realization and like finding himself, you know? And I can see what happens. I know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
But
like this is the kind of devastating low point of the book that allows you to climb back up to that. And I like that.
Yeah. Honestly, and I don't want to say it is, I see a little Zdarsky in the main character. I don't think it's a self-insert, but I think he is putting elements of himself into the main character.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see happening is him
especially
and
his... Go ahead.
Go.
I was just gonna say, like, remember in the first issue when he was like talking to that actor and he's just like, "Stop saying modern mythology." That was totally Zdarsky just getting on his soapbox.
Yeah, it is just mythology. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see what happens. Like, him and his dad are going to start working on the comic. He's going to do okay. And then his brother, who's an artist, which we have seen from tattooing, is going to jump in and they're going to basically continue their dad's legacy because something happens to the dad.
Yeah. By the way, that fucking tattoo shop scene, man.
That dude is fucking based as fuck. I want a tattoo that shows how scary sharks are. Sharks aren't scary. Fuck off. Sharks are cute.
Can you tattoo this quote I really like in kanji? Sure. White person. That's what killed me.
Yeah. I am very interested to see where this goes. I definitely think this can go some. This is definitely going to be like a movie somewhere sometime.
Oh yeah.
You know, but it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I also just really enjoy how his family just doesn't blame him for his gambling. Like they go, "You're sick. It's an illness. We're helping you." It's a fucking thing that we have to deal with. It sucks, but like your family, we care about you. It's an illness. It's an illness. I like that.
Yeah, like I get that it's been long running and like everybody's generally accepted this. But I would just say, as somebody who is in a family that deals with addiction, I would have liked it if at least one of them was a little pissed off. Like that would have made it feel a little more real.
I think
Like
I think the
they're all
mom might be
united
pissed off.
Oh, she seems like she's just pissed off about everything.
Yeah.
But she's too polite to not to say it.
Oh yeah. And the last book is this continuing the Human Target story, or is this a spin-off?
This is essentially a one-shot prequel to the series that's a bunch of interwoven vignettes about a lot of the main players in the series and what they were doing leading up to the events. And I would say it's solid, it's interesting, but it is nowhere near as good as the main series has been. It very much feels like just a placeholder and something you go to if you've already finished the main series and you just want a little more. I didn't hate it, but I just kind of felt my eyes glazing over at one point and going like, I just want the next issue, please. Just give me that. Just give me that. Give me the main story.
Good side material for the collected volume.
Yeah, like I can see this reading very well in sequential order once it's in the trade, but as a solo experience after having gone so long without issues of the regular series, I'm just like, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, guess what? That's all the shit we have.
Woo!
We read all the comics. We talked about all the news. We talked about SheHulk. You know what it is also time to talk about? Your shit. Tell the people about your stuff.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos sometimes, or at least I try. YouTube.com/the Vacuuminator. I'm on Twitter at the Vacuuminator, and I'm also on Instagram posting action figure photography. Gonna be getting back to that this week. I took some photos over the weekend. I think people are gonna really like it.
Nice.
Follow me on Instagram, _Vacuuminator, and it looks a little better than it did before the show.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, howdy. Boingo Writer. You want to see some Twitch streams? Twitch.tv/BoingoWriter. I'm on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Boingo_Writer. And if you would like to see video essays and editorials of a variety of content, you can always go search for Boingo Writer on YouTube. New videos are coming out soon, I promise. But this has been a modular media podcast. This is NoPrize, where we talk about comics, but we also have components where we talk about random things, daily lives, just whatever interests us during the week. We also have a Twit. Would you like to tell the people about Twit?
This Week in Tokusatsu is a show where we talk about Tokusatsu. Do you like Tokusatsu? Go listen to the Tokusatsu podcast with myself, Buster Corp, and sometimes Tim Shields.
Yeah. Thank you for coming, Kelvin. But this has been...
It is appreciated.
This is a modular media podcast. So give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, and you'll be able to see this and many more shit. Yeah!
Help us in the algorithm. Help us get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year.
Help us in the algorithm. But hey, do you have any final words, Vac?
I'm tired. My eye hurts. My nose is still running. I want to go home.
Enough said.